Interesting discussion here with Scott Rasmussen, the pollster, about the differences between elites and regular
But
Americans.
you became very intrigued over the last year by this consistent outlier data from a subset of Americans. And you have since defined those as voters with a postgraduate degree earning more than $150,000 a year and living in a very high density area. So these are lawyers and doctors. And you have now conducted some surveys of these elites, as you call it, the elite 1%. And fascinating results. What are some of the things that you found in that polling?
The first research that we did on this was commissioned by the Committee to Unleash Prosperity, Steve Moore's group. And we found an enormous gap in terms of trust in government and individual freedom. Most Americans believe that there's too little individual freedom in our nation. But half of this elite 1% said, no, there's too much. And one of the subsets of the elites, the politically active elites, people who talk.
So one of the major themes on this show, and I was really woken up to this by COVID and the generally moronic quality of conservative responses to COVID. And one of my ongoing themes is the stupidity of the right. So I like the commentator N.S. Lyons, but I just read something you wrote on Substack saying we've got a media-run state. Right? He's saying the news media runs the United States of America. If that was true, Donald Trump would never have been elected. If that was true, Republicans would not have control of the House. If that was true, Donald Trump would not have been able to erect a new border wall and replace falling apart border wall on the southern border. All right, so much of public policy goes against what the media wants. So how delusional do you have to be to think that we belong in a media-run state? So I just don't have a lot of sympathy for this hyperbolic, attention-seeking, emotional drama queen overstatements to say, look at me, think about how I see the world in far more profound ways than you do. I recognize that the news media is running the United States of America. Right? Look at public policy. Look at the public policy that the media supports, and there are frequently dramatic differences. All right, immigration. Right, we generally have more restrictive immigration policies compared to what the media wants. Media is far more pro-affirmative action. The media is for far more government intervention with regard to COVID. Right. So in all sorts of areas. So if you want to hear about the media perspective, just listen to Scott Rasmussen here talking about the preferences of the elite. And the elite don't always get their way.